I'd come down here by myself, go on like little long runs in the morning. Yeah, I guess this is the original one. Everyone skated. Now I remember why they put this stuff on. I think these people were complaining. The people that lived here, this is like high dollar condos or whatever. I think they were complaining about the noise from the skateboards. I think that's why they put this on there. Yeah, because there's no houses over there.
So Speed Freaks, you filming down here?
We came down here one evening, probably for like an hour or two. They just told me they were going to do a little promotional video. They didn't say they were going to do a full-blown video. And back then, it's just like, I just took, oh, I skate down here, so let's go down there and film something real quick. And then let's go up to Kenner, film something real quick. And oh, there's a mini ramp at Vans. I got this pool over here. Little did I know that video was going to make such an impact. That was just kind of like the day in the life with me.
If I was to think of one time and one video, it was in Bombing the Hill in LA, which is right by the Getty Center now, right? That hill you can still see coming south down the 5 with the lights on, when that was first built. Eric was skating down that and he was power sliding. He was doing like 10-foot power slides, down a hill full speed. And that was most of his video part. And that's like so creative and is super inspirational to the kids of today, and they need to look at that and grow from that.
I don't know where that hill was, but I could have swore it was right by where I lived, because I used to skate down that hill and just be like, dude, this is where it happened. Or I'd try to mimic that. I mean, to me, that's the ultimate Eric Dressen video part. Super well-rounded, fast, and just like aggro.
You filmed your part like in a day?
Probably 2 days, maybe 2 or 3 days max. I know Tom Knox filmed his part in 2 hours. Right when I got on Santa Cruz, they flew me up. We were going to fly to Chicago for some contest, and they showed me a semi-edited version of Speed Freaks, and Tom Knox's part. And I was like, holy shit, this is the gnarliest thing ever. I'm all, Tom's going to win this contest. And they're all, no, you're going to win, Eric. You're going to win the Chicago contest.
This is 1989. He'd been winning everything else. They were expecting Eric to win, and I ended up winning that contest. So it sort of threw everybody for a loop. I think Eric got second or third, but that was his first. That was, probably the second time I skated against him in a contest. Back then they turned you pro and you had to earn your model. So I was pro for almost 6-7 months with no model. Eric, he came on to Santa Cruz. He's going to get a model right away just because he's Eric Dressen. They're not going to make him wait. So his model was already in the works. Then I win the contest and they had to scramble to get a model going for me. There's probably literally 10 vert guys that had boards out, and then me and Eric were the street guys.
Santa Cruz grew and expanded out through the 80s boom. Tom Knox and Dressen, the little Toxic 2 there, they would sit and fucking score runs and shit. Like, I fucking did that. I did a hurricane on that thing, and then I went over and I fucking did a one-footed 360 over the box, and blah-da-da-da. Eric was all business.
He influenced me to do certain moves, like farther, longer, faster, those kind of influences,
Oh, he was super innovative, just like that double-sided curb stuff, like taking the vert to the curb. That was like, it blew my mind. I liked his work ethic and the direction he was going, because he was like, handle business instead of like just hanging out and like going party at night and all that shit.
From like 89 to 92, I would say we were the focus, All the advertising, all the videos was focused on us. I mean, it was good, because we sold a lot of boards, got to travel a lot.
I always look to those old videos for inspiration, because I still believe like the creativity and just the way that people were riding and doing tricks was a big part of what makes it enjoyable to watch. I still, to this day, love watching him in Risk It.
Risk It's original street skating. Like the way he cruised down the street and do little 180s and half cabs, and that's what Dressen was all about to me. Like just fast and powerful and controlled, especially back then, being that controlled and just looking at someone skate a certain way, and it's just the way he moved.
It seemed like skating shifted from the contest being super important to video parts being important.
I guess, yeah, before that, only people that came out with videos were PAL. Once Plan B and all that videos came out, I think that's when it really became really important. Or H Street. I remember when the H Street video came out, I was in England, and everyone was just every skate shop I went to, everyone was just glued to the TV watching the H Street video. And I was like, who are all these guys? Matt Hensley? Who's Matt Hensley? You know. So I just went and rode all this bitchin' shit in Europe. I was just in Hawaii skating all this bitchin' stuff. And they show up and they're like, oh, we need a video part. That's like reason for living. And I was like, God damn it, like, there's nothing around here. You know, and like you got like a week or two, they're gonna come down, and like I kind of like regret, you know, not bringing a filmer and like capturing some like rad shit that, you know, a lot of stuff I did never got on video. You know, just only people that saw it were the people there at the demo or at the session. One I took real serious was Troops of Tomorrow. I had Chris Ortiz film it, and he was down whenever he wanted. You know, I wanted to come film me.
Did you pick the music in all those
Back then
parts?
we used to be able to pick music. It was easier, music rights and stuff. And then Gavin worked at Santa Cruz, and he was like, you know, with the faction, he had all the punk rock hookups. So we could get SST or whatever, Posh Boy Records. Being on Santa Cruz and traveling and doing good in contests and making all this money, my ego just kind of got really out of control. Like I wanted everything right then, right now. But I didn't really realize that people don't like complainers. So I got like a phone call saying that, you know, you should find a new sponsor.
He did sort of get like just ran out of town from one of our sponsors. And like I said, 92 was like a whole nother revolution of big pants, small wheels, tech tricks, you know, and a whole slew of 15 and 16-year-old kids that they turned pro.
The world dropped out from under me, you know, like boom. I was out with the old and in with the new.
This goes back to the original fucking thought or notion or whatever about, you know, what happened to him in the 70s and why'd you leave? You know, his timing was kind of he kind of got burned on the timing thing, because by the time he came back and started to compete and really rise to power, getting his due and stuff, the whole thing shifted again. And when Rocco trots out, you know, Billy Waldman, you know, Rocco goes, I'm gonna completely like decimate the idea of the pro skateboarder. Anyone can be a pro skateboarder. So Eric's window was 2-3 years, tops, even though he turned pro at 12 or whatever, 10, whatever the fuck it was.
I still kept skating. I was trying to figure out who I was gonna skate for. I wanted to skate for Powell because I was really always good friends with everybody at work there. I was just fucking around this stupid handrail trying to do no slides, and I whipped out and landed off balance on one leg, and my knee just collapsed completely to the right, just popped it, and I went home and laid in bed for a year, lived off my savings, and after all that, that's when I started like partying. I went from like a really good paying job to being absolutely broke and like no opportunity and stuff, and I never thought that was ever gonna happen. I thought I was set for life. You know, I signed a 1-year contract, and next year I'm going to get a raise. You know, every time little did I know. You know, I ended up moving in with my dad, and then he got sick of me real quick. My dad kicked me out, and I moved in with all these skater dudes in Westwood. And that was right when Toy Machine video came out. I got super inspired like by them, and I just started, you know, after work or whenever going street skating. We were like living up by UCLA and by the courthouse, so I was skating super hard. But just the opportunity wasn't there for me, like in pro skateboarding. I started like partying like gnarly and started fucking around with drugs and just raging.
No one had seen anything of him in a real long time. The reason before me even meeting him is he had that 4-1 thing come out, and it was all night skating. And that thing was super sick too, because it was just classic Eric, like just attacking shit, but it was all night. And then I had heard that like dude only skates at night, he doesn't like the sun.
Dressen was stuck on drugs and speed and shit, and he was downtown in his apartment, and he was like just fucking hanging out by himself being depressed. And I was like, really, Dressen? I'd never known him to be a drug addict, so when he did it later on, it had to stem from some sort of depression from skateboarding. Your grip on life is what holds you together, and it's your passion. His passion, his whole life has been skateboarding as long as I know the guy. Always psyched on, look at my board, check out my wheels, check out my new graphics. Like, that's what excites him.